Hey guys, Darren from Austrack Campers here. Firstly, congratulations on purchasing your brand new Savannah X. And today we're going to go through how to set it up. So come on guys, let's go to the front. So up the front of the camper, you have your McHitch 3.5 ton full off-road coupling. So this has the full articulation that you're going to use when you're taking it off track. And then you've also got the Arc XO 750 jockey wheel. So this is a dual jockey wheel, and what you're going to do is use this to make the camper level nose to tail. So you can either go up or down. Above it, you've got a winch at the front. So the winch is used to bring your lid over, and then there's also a winch at the rear, which is used to bring the lid back. And then you've got a recessed cold water tap here. You've got cold water tap here as well. So this is where you're going to hook up your gas hot water system. So the water will come out there, your gas will come out just below it, but you can also then run the water from the hot water system back into the camper, and that will give you hot water to your sink. And just in behind it, speaking of gas, you've got your two 9 kilo gas mounts with built-in regulator. So above it, there's a little tap. When the tap's facing that way, you're using the gas bottle on that side. When you turn it the opposite way, you're using the other gas bottle. And then just in beside that as well, you have your 20 litre jerry can mounts. So as you come around the driver's side of the camper, first thing you'll notice, you've got your little handles on top. So these are little tie down points. You don't want to use a ratchet strap, but really good to tie down a set of chairs or tables. And then just below it, you've got storage. So in your camper in here, you're going to find your hot water system, your portaloo, as well as some sand pegs. And then just in behind it, you've got storage all the way through, as well as a really big drawer below. So as we move further along towards the back, next thing we're going to talk about is water. So in the Savannah X, you've got a 120 litre water tank at the rear, a 50 litre water tank at the front, and you also have the ability to be able to hook up to mains water if you're at a powered site. So the fill point for your rear tank's here, fill point for your front tank's here, and then if we open this little compartment, there's a little latch that you're going to lift up. Just under there is a little ball valve, and that's what you're going to use to be able to choose which tank you're taking it from, either the rear or the front tank. So just in behind here, you've got your charging point for your camper. So you will need a 10 to 15 amp adapter to charge it, and this is a 15 amp inlet. So when you're at home, you plug it in, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. That's what I always recommend to keep your batteries topped up. Just above it, you've got the antenna for your AM, FM radio, and then in behind you have this storage compartment here. So this is where all the poles are going to go for the fully enclosed annex. That's right, the Savannah X also comes with a fully enclosed annex, and we'll set that up later today. So as we come around the back of the camper, you'll notice the rear winch here. So like I said, that's used to bring your lid back and forth. You've got 2 spare tyres, and this whole tyre rack will actually drop down when you're doing the opening up, but we'll show you that later on. And then underneath here, you've also got 2 gas bayonets as well. One's going to be for your external kitchen, the other one can be for an external barbecue or a little barbecue. So now as we come around to the passenger side, first thing you know is the kitchen's on this side. So what we'll do, they're super easy to set up. 2 little blue levers, this one comes up, turns, this one comes out, turns, and we're going to slide it out. Once it comes all the way out, you want to lift it up about 1 centimetre, pull it back 1 centimetre, and that'll lock it in, just like that. From there, the dish rack comes up, sliding one pin out, moving it forward, sliding it into the second one. Your little preparation stand comes over, and then just underneath here there's a little button. The little latch will come out, leg drops down, it'll extend down. I always say have it on just a little bit of an angle that way, because your kitchen can only ever go back in, it can't go out any further, and then you're just locking that in. And then we're going to come around the back of the kitchen here, and you're going to reach up underneath, you're going to pull out the little gas lead, pull it all the way out, and then that's just going to plug into your first gas bayonet at the rear. In and twist, easy as that. So just in front of your kitchen setup, you've also got your control panel as well. So everything's clearly labelled to make it really easy to use. Up the top, you have your 2 water tank gauges. So the one on the left is your front tank, the one on the right is your rear tank. Just below it, you have all the different buttons on the control panel. So the very first one on your top left is power. So think of this as master control for the Savannah X. If you want to operate anything in the Savannah X, you need to have that one on. Then as you move your way across, next one is labelled fridge. So that gives power to your fridge slide. Next one's labelled plugs. So that'll give power to all your 12 volt, your USB ports around the camper. Next one's lights. That gives power to the lights on the inside of the camper. Next one across is your pump. So if you want to use water here at the tap at the front, then you need to have the pump on to be able to pump that water from your tanks. Then the bottom left one is DC, which is these little ports here, the little tiny DC ports. Then you have left light, which is this one here, and it also has a dimming function as well. So you can change it from a white light to a yellow bug repellent light as well. Very easy to use, all clearly labelled. And how cool is that? Moving on from the control panel, you're also going to see a 10 amp outlet here as well. So the Savannah X comes with a 1000 watt inverter, and anytime you want to use 240 power, that has to be turned on. So you flick your inverter on and that'll give you 240 to this 10 amp outlet. Just above it, you'll see it's got a boat rack as well. So this is not only a boat rack, but also a boat loader. Rated to 100 kilos, great for stand-up paddleboards or kayaks, but you can also put a tinny on there as well, and it'll actually go all the way over, so let you load it and bring it back over. And then as we move to the front, you've got USB ports here and 12 volt ports there, so great if you want to run a second fridge or charge a phone. And then underneath it, you've got your pantry. So we'll open this up. That storage drawer still goes all the way across, but you've got two big drawers underneath it. This is all filled with all the little goodies for the camper. So you'll have your wheel chocks, you'll have your shower rose and hose, there'll be an annex light, there'll be your hitch, there'll be your keys, everything in there that you need. And then below it, another big storage drawer as well that has this really cool preparation bench on top. So you slide that across, and like I said, in here you'll also find wheel covers for the back, you'll have your stabilizing leg adjustment tool, the leg for your table. As we move past that one to the last compartment at the front, so this one is your fridge slide. So the Savannah X comes with an 80 litre dual zone fridge freezer standard. So this will slide out. Plugged in, you can have the front one as fridge, the back one as freezer. You can have the back one as fridge, the front one as freezer, or you can set it both as freezer, both as fridge. It's just up to you. All you're doing is setting the temperature in each compartment. You've got a little ventilation fan as well. So when your fridge is in there running, you always want that ventilation fan on. And then of course, it wouldn't be an Austrack camper. We've also put a sneaky little bottle opener there as well. So that covers the outside of this camper, and now it's time to open it up. So come on guys, we'll get this set up. The first thing we need to do for setup is we're going to bring the boat loader over. So we've got to take these two pins out. So we've got the first one here, second one here, and then we'll go around the front. So once we come around the front, you've got three little clips on the boat rack that you have to undo. The first two of these little clips, they're going to take the little D-shackles out. We've got one here and one on this side. Then we just undo those. And then we're going to pull this up, turn it to the side, and then the gas struts are actually going to lift that up. So once it's sitting like that, we're then going to pull it up to vertical. And then the pins we took out earlier are going to go in and hold this in place. First one goes in there, second one will go in here. So once we've got the boat rack up vertical, we're then going to undo the 6 of these latches. So there's 3 on this side, 3 on the other side, and it's just 1, 2, and then it's same again on the other side. 1, 2, 3. So once we've got the lid unlatched, we also then have to drop the rear tyre bar down. To do that, there's 2 little latches you have to undo. First one on this side, second one on the other side. So we're going to take the little pin out, undo the latch on this side, and then what I normally do is to not lose this, I'll put that back through the little latch, lock it over, and have it sit there. So once you've undone the 2 latches, we're then going to just lower the tyres down, nice and easy. Just like that. So once you've lowered the rear tyres down, we've got 4 little locks here that you can see. We have to undo those so that we can pull the slide out. Two on that side, 2 on the other side. So now it's time to bring the lid all the way over. So you can use the winches to do it, but also with the aluminium frame, very easy to walk over as well. You just go like that. And then you just want to lower it down. So once you've brought it over, you hook the winch up to the front, lock it in, and this is just going to give it a bit of stability, pulling it down, just like that. So once you've got the lid all the way over, then we're going to pull the rear slide out. Now the best advice I'll give all you guys out there, nice and slow will be your best friend. Easy as that. So once we've got the slide all the way out, then this pole just here is the only one we have to stand up. So every time you pack up, this pole has to be unvelcroed. So what we're going to do now is stand it up, jump inside, and then velcro it up. So once I've stood it up from the other side, I then come to this side, and what I'm going to do is reach under and just shuffle the canvas a little bit to let it stand nice and straight. Then we're going to drop the door down, go inside and start extending the poles up. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to go to the back and Velcro the rear pole in. From there, we're then going to extend this pole up. Once you've got the rear pole Velcroed in, you then want to zip these two zippers together on the outside. So once you've zipped the two sides, you then come to the back and you want to press stud this back canvas in as well. Once you've done the press studs at the rear, don't forget to do the ones on the side as well, just like that. So having done the rear pole, we're then going to move our way forward, doing each pole, extending them up just like this. We're then going to do the middle bow pole as well, same thing as before, extending it up, one side first, then you do the other side, makes it a little bit easier. Last but not least, we slide out the diagonal ones to give it its full extension. So after extending all the inner poles, there are 7 spreader poles that have to be put in. Always starting from the rear, you put your center one in first. And the reason we start at the rear is that'll give you a structure to work off, and then you move your way forward from there. So then we move to the next center compartment, put it in above the main bed. It'll lock in, extend it out, and then just latching the handle in. After doing the center compartment, you then move to the bed end, put the last 2 in there. First one goes in at the top, locks in it to your diagonal pole. You're going to spread it out, lock the handle in, and then mirror it on the opposite side. So after putting all the spreader bars in, the last thing we have to do is put our 2 vertical legs in. You want to tuck them right in the corner, bring them up to the frame and lock them in. Alrighty guys, so we've got the Savannah X set up to this extent now, and we're going to set the annex up as well. So as you can see on the ground, there's a heap of poles on the ground. Don't let this put you off. I've actually done this for a reason. It makes it a lot easier to set up. So what I always do when I'm setting up an annex is I'll put all the poles down where they need to go. So that way, as I'm working my way across, I've got them there to grab. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay the annex roof out. We're going to zip it on and we'll get stuck into setting this annex up. So what we've done, we've laid the annex roof down. So the first thing we're going to do, the number 1 poles. So they've got a hook at one end and the little flat tab at the other. We're going to hook them into their little eyelets, leave them hanging down. Then we're going to grab the roof and zip it on. So what we're going to do now is just zip this all the way across. So once we've got it zipped on, we're then going to set the initial frame up and then work our way from there. So we'll bring the first one out. Onto that one. So after you've got your first pole out onto the spigot, you're then going to grab your spreader pole. Now you always want to keep the thicker part of the pole facing up so no condensation can get down inside it. We're then going to throw it over the top, pin it down, bring it to the other one, pin it down, and that's starting to set the frame up. So what we're going to do is just repeat the process all the way down to the end. Another good tip, you want the handle facing down to make it easier for you to access when you're under the annex. So we drop it over, just like that. We're going to loosen the handle, extend it a bit, lock it back in, drop it over the next pole, and then drop the last one on top of that as well. So as you can see, we've done the first 3 vertical poles, and what that does is provide a frame to hold it there. You can see the annex roof is just sitting on top. We can maneuver that into position after we've got the rest of it set up. So we're down to the last section. We'll put this one there. So this one just goes straight over. Again, thickest part of the pole facing upwards. We're going to extend this out, drop it over, put the last one on top, lock this one in, and as you can see, I'm setting this up around eye height. It's very easy to set up an annex from here. It's very hard to try and set one from up there. So always do it here because you can always raise it up later. So what we're going to do now is pull the annex up and over the frame. So you can see there's a little eyelet and a bungee cord. So what we're going to do is put the spigot through the eyelet, put the bungee in here. So keeping the bungee out the road, spigot through the eyelet, bring this down, latch it in, and that's going to hold the annex roof to that pole. So once we've got the bungee corded in, we're going to extend it out now to give it its shape. So once we've got it extended all the way out, you can see we've got these Velcro tabs. So we're going to go around now and Velcro all of those onto the poles. And just move our way down doing the rest of them. So then once you've done that, you'll notice that there's a little bungee with a hook on it at each end. You're going to get your number 6 poles, and what we're going to do is put them up inside, click it off, drop the leg down, and put the bungee in there as well. We're going to do that at the opposite end too. So before we raise it up to the final height, last thing we're going to do is put the spreader poles in. So we're going thickest part of the pole facing up. We're going to push the C-clamp onto the middle pole, click it in, extend it out, lock it in, spread it out, lock it in. Nice and easy. So now we've got all the spreader poles in, last thing we need to do, extend it up, set it in place. So we've got the annex set up now. Now what we're going to do is put the sidewall on so we can put the ensuite on. So first thing we need to do is up in the corner here, there's a little white tag. We need to find the wall that has the same matching white tag. The white tags look like this. So in the corner of the wall, you have the white tag like this. So 073C. We've got 073C up here, so we know that this wall matches this side. We're now going to put it up and zip it across. So once we've zipped the wall on, you'll see there's a couple of these little Velcro tabs. What we're going to do is join these to the poles to hold the wall in place. So once we've got the wall on, we're then going to put the ensuite on. So the roof of the ensuite zips on, the sides just Velcro on. So we'll just feed that in now. So once we've got the top zipped on, we're just going to then have the sides, they just Velcro on. So just nice and easy, smoothing it down as we go. So once we've got it zip and Velcroed on, we're then going to use these poles. You've got your little eyelets straight over the top. We're going to put our cross member on. Extend it out to give it some rigidity. We're then going to guide rope it out and also peg the floor down as well. So just before guide roping it out, just get your little Velcro tabs, Velcro the poles on, top and bottom. And then we can guide rope it out, peg the floor down. So with the rest of the annex now, all we're going to do is just normally zip the walls on, the floor lays down, has a little bucket for Velcro, you just Velcro it in around the sides, and that's the complete setup of the Savannah X. So I hope you've enjoyed the video today. A little bit of hot work, but not too hard. Time for me to have a shower. So cheers guys.
Austrack Campers.